AnimeSecrets.org, the answer to all your burning questions.
Hey, what time is it, guys?
It's morphin' time!
Oh, come on, I didn't even hear that right. What time is it?
It's morphin' time!
Alright, beautiful. Good
2:10.
Oh, yes, you're right. It is 2:10.
Nailed
So
it.
2:10. So, I think I'm going to sit back here, I guess, and we're just going to chat a little bit. If you guys, here's the opportunity for if you want to know anything like that happened behind the scenes, or Power Rangers, or any of that kind of stuff, or just life in general, you know, you go ahead and ask me, you know? So,
Steve has great life advice.
yeah, exactly.
Take the time and opportunity. Questions? Who has a question? Raise your hand. I'll bring them up right here. Nailed it.
Okay. Have you seen the new Power Rangers movie trailer? And if so, what did you think?
Yes, it's amazing. I think the movie's going to be great. I had already before this seen some behind the scenes footage of stuff, so I know it's going to be good. So I'm just happy that they're keeping the franchise alive, you know? But that's actually thanks to all of you guys, so if you guys want to give yourselves a round of applause.
For real.
Thank you for keeping the Power Rangers alive all these years. It's amazing. So, very excited.
It's a great example of what fan power actually can do.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
Power Rangers hasn't gone away because of the fans. That is the truth. Green Ranger, I'm coming to you.
Go, Green Ranger!
I actually made a YouTube series called Camera Tales, and the first episode was called Mighty Morphin Power Ponies. And how would you react if Twilight Sparkle played the Red Ranger?
Oh my gosh. Which one was Twilight Sparkle? Was that the purple one?
That's the purple one, yes.
Purple one. Well, I mean, I guess red and blue. I was red and blue, so red and blue makes purple. No, I think it would probably be pretty fitting, I guess. I don't know, because I don't know too much about My Little Pony, to be honest.
She's kind of the leader.
Oh, she's kind of the leader? Oh, okay. Well, then I think that she'd probably do a good job, right?
That's
an interesting question.
That's a fun one. Here we go.
Russell.
So I had the typical Power Rangers experience where whenever it first came out, it was the greatest show ever. All the kids talked about it. Everything was awesome. And then once you start getting older, people start teasing you, oh, you still watch that? So my question is, did you experience as an actor who was in the series, or do you know any of the actors that experienced something like that in Hollywood where they didn't respect you because you were a part of the series?
Yeah, you know, it was Power Rangers, you know, even though it was wildly popular with the fans and stuff, you know, it was kind of considered somewhat of a joke in Hollywood because, you know, the show was campy and it was kind of silly and stuff like that, and, you know, they didn't really feel like, you know, it was like a real show, like a lot of the dramas that were on back in the time and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was hard to get auditions and things like that. People didn't take us very seriously. It's different now, you know, I mean, it's, you know, because it's been on so long, it's a lot more respected, but back then it was kind of like this goofy, weird show that even though the kids loved it and the toys sold great and everything like that, it didn't really get your foot in the door in Hollywood, you know? So, yeah, we all kind of experienced
The toys
that.
sold really well.
The toys sold really well. Yeah.
Really, really well. I'm coming up to you right now.
Hello.
How's it feel in the Turbo Power Rangers? How's it feel you to join the Power Rangers in the Turbo movie?
Oh, you mean when I left the show? Like, how did I feel about that?
When we broke your back and stuff in the ring.
Oh, right. Okay, what he's talking about is in the movie Power Rangers Turbo, the sequel to the first Power Ranger movie. My character, like, you know, had a martial arts accident and hurt his back and couldn't be a Power Ranger, which is why they needed to replace me with the little kid that was in the movie. So it was my choice. I was the one that wanted to leave the show at that point. I was wanting to move on, and so they needed to figure out a way to write me out of the movie, and that's what they came up with. So it wouldn't have been my first choice, but you know, either way though, I was fine with it, and I was just happy that the kid that replaced me got to get a job, you know, as well out of it. So you know, there's some good that came out of it, but I wouldn't have chose to have been written out that way.
Why did you want to leave? What made you decide to do something different?
I was running my martial arts studios at the same time, and those were just doing pretty well for me. So I think if I wanted to move forward, and we only had a half of a season left on our contract anyway. So after the Turbo movie, we were going to do the Turbo series for about 20 episodes, and after that, we were all going to be moving on. So I just kind of left early.
Let's talk about the martial arts for a minute, because
Okay.
it's something you're very passionate about, you're very serious about. How did you get your start in martial arts?
I got my start because when I was a kid, just the same way that when you guys were kids, you admired Power Rangers. When I was a kid, I admired the movie The Karate Kid. And there was another movie that I watched too called The Last Dragon. And I used to watch those movies every day after school. And especially Karate Kid, because I really related to Karate Kid. When I was a young kid, I used to get bullied pretty bad. There was this group of kids that were always waiting for me every day after school, and we'd have to run home all the time. And then so I saw Karate Kid, and I really related to him, and then I just wished I could learn martial arts so I could defend myself. And so that's kind of how it happened. When I moved from one city to another. When I moved to that city, there was a karate school right next to my house, and so I decided as a young kid when I was 12 years old, how can I get into martial arts? So I went to the karate school and I said, listen, if I, clean the floors and clean the windows every day and, sweep the mats and all that stuff like that, would you be willing to give me lessons in exchange for keeping your place clean? And I thought for sure the guy would say no, but he said, okay, I'll give you a chance. And so I just stuck with him ever since, And from there I learned the whole aspect, not only just how to do martial arts, but also how to teach and how to run a martial arts studio. And so by the time I was in high school, I was already running the whole entire school. So that's kind of how I got my start.
That's awesome. Question. Here we go.
Hi.
Hi, Deadpool.
Nice to meet you.
That's a nice Red Ranger suit you got on there, man.
So I used to watch you when I was little. It was very awesome. When I saw you in Turbo, it was great too, until you had that accident.
I heard that. Somebody always sends one of those off every time. Go ahead, sorry.
I've also seen that you've liked a few photos of mine on Instagram.
I try to like a lot of fan photos, I don't know if anyone else, have I liked anybody else's photos here? No? Okay. I'll get to it. Oh, I like one of yours? Okay.
Yeah.
Eventually I'll get to it.
My main question is, how does it feel, like all the tours that you get to do, all the people that you get to meet?
Well, when I was on the show, obviously there was no internet back then, there was no social media, so there was no way to connect with the fans. But ever since social media came out, and then the rise of all these Comic-Con conventions, it's been a real blessing for me to be able to connect with you guys, because I didn't know that I had as many fans as I do, so I'm really grateful for that, and it's always a great experience. And right now I'm touring like crazy. We go to probably about 40 cities a year all over the world, and I just get to meet all you guys, man, and it's always a pleasure, man. Every time somebody comes up and says something like, hey, you inspired me when I was a young kid to become this, or you inspired me to do martial arts. I mean, that's an amazing feeling, and I'm just really proud that we have been a part of that. So that's a good question. Thank you.
Do you think that Power Rangers would have been looked at differently initially had it been in the age of social media? Because you didn't know these kids all across the country actually really cared so much.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, because people always say, what do you think the formula for success was with that show? And, I just try to picture myself as like a 4-year-old kid. If you're a 4-year-old kid and all of a sudden a lightning bolt comes down the screen, and then all of a sudden this rock music is playing, and then you see all these karate guys and robots and dinosaurs and monsters and all this stuff, all combined into one 30-minute show. I mean, that's a lot. Freaking cool, Yeah. So, I can imagine how that might stimulate, the mind, So, I don't think that as long as they keep the formula like that, I don't think that, the advent of social media would actually hurt that at all. I think it probably would have made it even grow even faster, probably.
Right.
So, at least that's my opinion, anyway.
First off, how did you find out about the role and kind of come at it? And then what was it like for you and guys like Johnny kind of coming in and placing cast members?
Those are good questions. So the show, I came on in season 2, so the show had already been on for 1 year. I was very familiar with the show because I was teaching karate to kids, and they kept talking about Power Rangers. I'm like, what's this Power Ranger show? Let me turn on the TV and watch it. And then I kind of got into it myself. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. I like watching martial arts on film. So I was very familiar with the show. And one day I was hanging out, and a buddy of mine, his dad owned a pizza shop, and we were hanging out in the store, and we were eating some pizza, and the radio came on, and it was like, we are looking for new Power Rangers. If you know how to do karate and gymnastics or hip-hop dancing, then come down to this station at this time and show us what you can do. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing, so I decided I'd go down and try it out, you know? And I went to the audition, and then I thought, okay, great, I did my audition, I'll probably never hear from them again. And a couple days later, they called me back, and they were like, we want to fly you to California to meet the producers, and you know, we really liked your audition and see how it goes. So I was like, wow, this could really happen. And so sure enough, they flew me to California, and I auditioned for Haim Saban and Shuki Levy, the guys who created the Power Rangers. And they gave me the part, and it was pretty crazy. But what I didn't know was that I was going to be replacing three of the original Red Rangers, or three of the original Power Rangers. I just thought they were adding new members to the cast, so I was a little nervous about that actually, because I knew how popular the Red Ranger was. So when they found out I was going to be replacing the Red Ranger, I knew I had some big shoes to fill, so I was kind of concerned about that. But I would just hope that eventually everybody kind of warm up to my character, since the other guy was gone anyway. So,
Get out of here, Austin St. John. Just get out.
What was your initial reaction, or what did you think the first time you saw yourself in an action figure form in the store or wherever?
Okay, now that was cool. Seeing myself as an action figure, that was pretty cool. However, seeing myself on TV for the first time was not cool. It was very weird. It was very weird to see myself on television, because, you know, like I say, back then, you know, not everybody had already, you know, a camera on their phone, and, you know, people didn't record themselves all the time. So unless you know, bought a camcorder and put a plastic tape in it and recorded it, you know, not a lot of people had themselves on video. So you're just not used to seeing yourself like that. Most people now, everybody sees themselves on video now, because you take videos of yourself all the time. But back then it wasn't like that. So to see myself on TV for the first time was very weird, very strange.
How old were you?
I was 20 years old.
Man.
You know?
Yes, well, when you came on in season 2 of the Power Rangers, you know how they had, like, basically they used old Japanese footage for season 1. In season 2, about how much of the show, like, the stunts-wise, did you wind up doing? And also, how was it like working with the completionist a few months ago?
Oh, yeah, okay. So we did, in season 2, they pretty much ran out of all that Japanese footage. So about the only thing you'd ever see that was Japanese footage at that point anymore were all of the Zord monster fight sequences. You know, at the very end, that would be all Japanese footage. We never really needed to recreate that. But we did have to recreate all the other stuff, you know, with all the putties and you know, all the fight scenes when the monsters were small. We did all of that. So we did a lot of our own fight scenes for sure. And you know, the other thing he's talking about, there's a YouTube guy called The Completionist. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him or not. But yeah, anyway, his name's Gerard, really cool guy. I met him at a Comic-Con one time, and he got the idea that maybe we should, like, you know, play the Power Ranger video game together on his show and film it. And
oh my God!
Yeah, so if you get the chance, check it out on The Completionist on YouTube. I think it's called that one video guy, or one video gamer, or something like that.
That one video gamer.
That one video gamer, yeah.
Nice.
So if you get the chance, take a look at that. It's pretty fun. We did this whole thing. It's me, Jason Font from Time Force, and Gerard from The Completionist, and we're all playing the Mighty Morphin movie Power Ranger game from like the 1995 like Sega one or whatever. Yeah. So it's pretty fun.
Alright. Back in the day when Power Rangers was kind of big, and when you started to become the Red Ranger, there was an event by the company that they went to local martial arts schools around the country, and they said that the Red Ranger was going to show up at one of those. And one of the events was a school down here, and they said that the Red Ranger couldn't make it, but they made somebody else be in the Red Ranger suit and do some martial arts for the students. What were your thoughts about, like, if you were doing events back then? Was it really stressful for doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, back then we were filming like so much, because we were not only were filming the TV show, but we were also preparing to go film the movie in Sydney, Australia. And, you know, so doing those events in between was definitely kind of difficult. So sometimes they would just send, you know, people in the suit, you know, in the Red Ranger suit to go in our place, because we just didn't have enough time to do all the events that we were supposed to do. it was hard because we were gone. We were out of the country for about 5 months.
When you were in the Power Rangers, who would you say was your best friend, like on set?
Oh, good question. Of course. I mean, I had a lot of good friends on set, but me and the Pink Ranger were pretty good friends. Myself and JDF were pretty good friends, and Johnny Young Bosch. And to this day, I see Johnny Young Bosch all the time. We were actually even on the plane ride together over here because we had a layover in Dallas, and then he went somewhere to another show in Texas, and then I came here. But we rode on a plane together to Dallas, so I see him all the time. Still.
Hey, so in Super Mega Force, they had all those cameos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bomber to say, hey, Steve, come back for a whole season, new powers, that kind of thing, like a super group for the guys.
Sign me up.
Yeah, you
yeah. Oh, I would totally do it. Yeah, of course, man, absolutely.
Yeah, who would be in your super group? Who would be the other 4 guys?
Oh, who would we pick? I don't know. I think we've got to get Jason Font in there from Time Force. He's good. We got to get JDF back in there. And of course me, and then I don't know, we'd have to pick one of the girls too, so I don't know. Maybe Serena Vincent from Lost Galaxy, the Yellow Ranger. She's awesome.
Based on how much this series has evolved, what do you think all the new series, like all the new seasons, or how do you think they are?
I don't know. I mean, I think you could probably look ahead a little bit to Super Sentai, because they're always a couple years ahead of us, aren't they? Aren't they? Yeah. So if you ever want to know what's going to be next, just watch the Super Sentai series, and then you'll be able to figure it out. But I don't know what they'll call it. I think the new one's called Ninja Steel now, right? Is that the new one that's coming out? Yeah. I don't know. Super Sentai is always going to be able to predict or what the new Power Ranger stuff is going to be. So.
How old are you?
She's like 4.
I know, I'm old. Actually, you could probably look it up. It's no secret or anything like that. I'm 42 years old now, so I joined Power Rangers 22 years ago. Yeah. So, thank you.
So you've had 2 sets of power. You were the red Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, the second one actually, and you were the blue Zeo Ranger. Which one did you actually like the best?
Now, everyone always asks me that, but they always say, which one did you like better? And I guess what they mean is, what suit did you like better? Is that what you mean? Because my character was the same, and throughout the whole series, so I just wore different suits. I like the Red Ranger suit the best. I like it a little bit better than the blue Zeo costume, but my character in Zeo got a lot more fun stuff to do, so I kind of like working on Zeo was like my favorite season. But the Red Ranger suit, I mean, come on, man, that thing's awesome.
It's classic.
It's classic, yeah.
Which episode was probably the most fun to make?
Oh man, I don't know. There was a lot of them. There was one, I think, that where they put me in like a werewolf makeup outfit, like werewolf makeup and stuff, and I had to kind of turn into a werewolf. That was kind of a good one. There was another one where they turned me into a plant or turned me into a tree or something.
What the heck for?
I know, right? I think I got put under a spell or something, and then I turned into a plant or something. So
you're like, we're bored. Let's make Steve a tree.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we got to wrap it up. Tell us, you mentioned Instagram. Where can folks find you online?
Oh yeah, you guys can follow me on social media. Steve Cardenas PR, PR for Power Rangers. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram there. And then you can also follow me on my Facebook fan page as well, which is Steve Cardenas fan page.
Awesome. Let's give Steve a round of applause.
Guys, thank you all so much. And if anyone hasn't come by, come down to my table, say hello. We can continue the conversation down there, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, folks, stick around. We're going to have a conversation with Mr. Ernie Hudson very, very soon.
Hey, you. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. You can also check out Enemy Secrets on Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook. Do you want more than that? I know you do. Then go to our website where you can see daily updates and articles and exclusive interviews.